deepest.
What up? Welcome back. We're live on Split the Defense, LEAFS post-game presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. Jordan Webster with Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans in the background, pushing all the buttons, making us sound good, making us look good. Game 61 for the Toronto Maple Leafs we're going to break down against the San Jose Sharks on a Monday night on Amazon Prime. Started late and ran late, went to a shootout, and then another round of a shootout. And then they went and lost it anyways.
Yeah, brutal.
So that was totally worth the bit of a bore fest the game was. It looked like the Leafs played a game last night, and it kind of looked like the race that they took on yesterday maybe took a toll on them. What's your overall breakdown of the game, though, CP?
I mean, I think that they did fine defensively against a really bad team, and then they kind of just blew it all away in the third period. Offensively, they just couldn't get anything going. Like you said, like I'm not sure if it's the back-to-back or, don't have any legs. I just, like you said as well, a snooze fest. I mean, I thought that we were going to sneak away with this, like with, 2-0, 2-1, maybe 3-1. I don't know what happened to Stolars in the second intermission, but it looked like Ryan Reeves put the pads on and went out there. He just got lost twice. Just totally looked like not a NHL goalie.
Ouch.
It was crazy.
Ouch. Yeah. So that Leafs loss to the Sharks is their first shootout loss of the season. That's their first shootout of the season. They're 0-1 now. That also ends their 5-game win streak. So, all good things must come to an end. Although I definitely thought they were going to push and get a 6-game win streak tonight. All those goals yesterday, and we get, one goal in the 28 and a half minutes to start the game. And it's like the slowest of absolute slow games. But it's JT again. Talk about Mr. Consistent, Mr. Hero. Talk about you can't get a center better than me. He's just out there trying to say, like, it's not happening. There is no center better than John Tavares.
I mean, that is for sure. There is no center available, at least on the trade bait board that TSN puts out or whatever. No one as good as Tavares, that's for sure. I would have liked a little more on his shootout attempts, but I think
he's a terrible shootout. That was horrible. But some guys are just bad. Like, I love Austin Matthews, but in my memory, he's not great in a shootout or a penalty shot. He's not been that kind of guy. William Nylander is good like that. I think even Mitch Marner has done some fancy deeks in times that I can remember. But there are guys that are good that are just, not good at that.
Why doesn't he just come down and rip one? Like, why get into trying to go to a backhand when you can just like walk in and just rip it? I think that would be a better strategy for him. I mean, in the Mitch Marner just broken stick. Good Lord. I know
that's unfortunate.
He must have checked the stick, but that's brutal. It
could have been different, but
I hate shootouts also. I mentioned this in the chat, I think, but I like when it said that it was the first shootout of the game, I was like, yeah, that's actually, I can't remember the last one. So that's a good feeling for me, but I just hate everything about them. It's like, it's not hockey. It's just like, I don't know. I guess the game has to come to an end. I'm glad that they didn't play until, midnight. That's for sure. But I just hate them in general.
I wouldn't be doing this. I'll tell you that.
No, that's for sure.
No. How about Georgie though? Like fucking Georgiev, like puts up the years ago, like the curse of Georgiev. I don't even know how you say his name. Georgiev. I'm gonna do this all night. Samsonov.
It's technically Georg. Like you have to like roll one of the R's, and it's tough.
He's
to
Russian,
do.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Jan Stastny on the Avs broadcast could do it beautifully, but I can't do it quite like him. Georgiev. Yeah, there's Georgiev. It's somewhere in there. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Georgie.
Anyways, he put up a
Georgie.
52 save shutout against the Leafs when he played for the Rangers as the backup. Do you remember that a few years ago?
I
and
do.
ever since then, it's been like a curse that the Leafs just have a tough time scoring against Georgiev every single time that he's in the net.
Yeah, why can't we just get the regular Georgiev that kind of sucks? You know,
He kind of sucks.
Yeah, he's not a great goalie. There's a reason Colorado got rid of him. I mean, he's an average goalie. Let's give him a little credit, I guess. Like he's kind of a guy you go and put out there and
below
not
average
expect to win.
Yo, but he
Below
had like
average,
40.
for sure.
He had like 49 wins in like the last 2 seasons or something like that. They said led the NHL. Like he was dope for you guys at one point. He just fell off a cliff.
Yes, it was 2 seasons of most wins in the NHL. But I mean, yeah, you're playing behind.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
Even when he was getting all those
Sure.
wins, like he wasn't playing out of his mind. Like there's just an amazing team playing in front of him. So
yeah, they were outscoring no matter what. He'd let in 4 goals, but they'd just score 5.
Yeah,
so.
they'd score 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's fine. Yeah.
I've like
So
that's his
speaking of
nickname.
Georgiev or whatever, what about Liljegren? What's up with that? Did you guys hear that on the broadcast? Timothy is not Liljegren anymore. It's Timothy Liljegren.
Yeah, I actually heard about this as soon as he got traded. It was like his first request as soon as he got to San Jose is he wanted his name to be changed.
Thing.
Yeah, and it's so weird because he was asked multiple times because the Swedish community put up a stink a couple times saying that like that's not how you say his name, and he was like, "Oh no, it's totally fine." And yeah, as soon as he leaves, he's just like, "No, that's not my name." So I don't know how to read that. Maybe just
That's not
new
my
place.
name.
Yeah. Maybe he just wants a fresh start, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder that change. Move to a new town, change your name. Like maybe he won't fan on the puck anymore in crucial moments. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You know what's hilarious about I'm getting off topic a little bit, but just like I'm looking at this team, obviously, as like, you know, they're probably looking to trade whoever they can. You look at their defense and like you look through and everyone they have that's good shoots left-handed, and then you go to their best right-handed defenseman and it's Liljegren.
Yep.
And it's just like,
what about as we're on the topic here though, like what about Jake Wallman? He's got 1 year left after this at $3.4 million. Right now he's got, where is he? He's 28th in the league for defensemen for points. He's got 30 points, and that's actually tied for 26th. Morgan Riley is 24th for 32 points. He's got 2 more points. Mackenzie Weegar's got 3 more points. Gostisbehere's got 3 more points. People like Noah Hannafin has 28 points. He's got less. Vince Dunn has less points. Owen Byram has less points. Devin Tays has less points. Maybe Jake Wallman. Maybe Jake Wallman is the guy that slots in on that second pair with Chris Tanev or first pair, even, whatever. And he's the guy that can maybe be our other offensive option. And then you put OEL down at the bottom of the lineup. Because I do not want to see Benoit Timmins in the last 2 minutes of a tied game that's actually crucial. Like they did tonight. Like tonight it was fine because it wasn't really a big deal. But in a game that matters, I cannot have those 2 guys playing in the last 2 minutes of the game. You have to have other options than that.
Like the big problem is just he shoots left and we just have too many lefties. And I think you just have to go out and righty because Jake McCabe is a totally different defenseman when he plays on the left side. So I think it's a non-starter for me if he's, and I hate the lefty playing on the right thing. Like I know like some guys can do it, but they can never be as good as can be. But I think if you go
Riley McCabe,
if you go out and add a right shot defenseman who's like not Wallman, it's like Timmins or Benoit I don't think are in the lineup. Like I think Myers, just because he shoots right and maybe pairs up nicely with OEL, that he gets to get in there. And so I think neither of those guys are in. I thought it was also funny, like even on a penalty kill, you have Timmins out there. Like that's never happening in a playoff lineup. Not in a million years. So I like every time now I watch Timmins make a really bad play, I'm like, well, he's not going to be playing. So I feel way better about it.
Hopefully, as long as there's no injuries. Like
Yeah.
you need
Fuck. Yeah,
like
fair.
guys are
But even Benoit would be the
shit.
first.
You don't
hit, I
want that
think.
to happen. Like you're one injury away from having Timmins play in the last 2 minutes of the game.
If
That
we
is
add
not a
someone,
place I
he's
want to
2
be.
injuries away. And I think if you're 2
Yeah.
injuries away from Timmins, that's okay. You know, he's good enough to be 2 injuries
I want him
away
2
from.
injuries away from playing in the lineup.
That's what I mean.
That's what I
If you
want.
add
Yeah,
one guy
absolutely.
though, like Myers to
We're
me is
right now we're
borderline.
1 injury away right now because Tanev's out. We're 1 injury away right now from Timmins having to play major minutes. Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, but that's
not a good
terrible,
place.
though. It's not a horrible place to be. Like your 7th and 8th defenseman is never going to be a world beater. Like that's why they're a 7th and 8th defenseman. But I just think that we're going to guarantee, like, I mean, not guarantee, but we're hoping that Tanev comes in healthy and, you know, you add one guy and yeah, you never have to see Timmins unless it's like, you know, you're scraping by. But I think if you lose like a lot of guys on the team, you know, you're looking a lot different. Like you can't kind of think about what your 8th guy is as much. Like to me, I've stopped thinking about Timmins just because like to me, he's non-existent until he has to be. So, but yeah, I think like Wallman might not be the guy unless he's like the best guy playing on the right side with the left shot. Maybe I'm fine with it, but I just like the guy's got to shoot right. I don't know. Like that's where I just ruled him out immediately. Like, and I
better
like
than
Ferraro.
Rasmus Ristolainen though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I know. I
He's
like
way
Ferraro
better,
too. What happened to Ferraro though? I looked up his stats. And like, oof, he's not having a good time. Hey, it's
Yeah.
like his plus minus isn't good. His points aren't there. It's like, oh, it's
He's
like, well,
not-
it's plus minus, and so maybe he scores. Oh, he doesn't score. He's got 5 goals. Like that's not so bad. But like, I don't know. He's not. He's decently tough. Like he's kind of like mid.
He's
I
very
wonder if a change of scenery would up his game. I wonder if you take a flyer on him. He's also got 1 year left, I believe, on his contract.
Yeah,
So he would be.
I really
he
like
could be up for
Ferraro.
grabs.
Yeah, he's one of the guys I've always looked at because of fantasy hockey. He hits a lot. And I just like tonight, you know, he's also able to you know, throw the fist. So he's
Yeah, how
not
about that?
he's never really been a like point getter though. He's a different kind of guy. But yeah, you want to talk about the fight?
Yeah, how about that? The Ferraro versus Myers. Your boy Myers getting into a fight, playing consistently in the lineup, holding his own, playing pretty well. Like I don't have any major gripes for Philippe Myers' play, and now he's chucking knocks. Like this guy's in the playoff lineup, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think he will be like it just helps so much he shoots right, but I think I'm going to change jobs, man. I think I'm going to like go and work for an NHL team and find their 7th or 6th defenseman because it's now 2 years in a row that I've called who like a guy from the depths that's going to be
You
in
fell
it.
in love with Benoit.
Yeah, I did fall in love with Benoit when everyone was counting him out, and now I've called Myers. So change of occupation, but I can't tell you any other position on the team who's right for it, except for who's your 6th, 7th guy, you know, on defense. That's it. That's my only thing that I'm good at. So.
And I'm pretty sure they already got that figured out because that's exactly where those guys are slotted right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
They have a guy that's already.
We have actually probably too many of them.
But yeah. What about Domi? Do you think Domi gets a fine for the butt end on Delandria's? How do you say his name? Delandria? Delandria. That's how you say it. Delandria. Did you see him butt end him in the head with his stick? You think he gets a fine for that, or suspension, or any news from that, or is that just?
I think it's a little bit of like it just gets lost in the play. Like I also thought when I watched it, I was like, oh god. Yeah, that's tough. But I mean, he is like mixing it up a little bit. It's not like he just came in and butt ended him with his stick. So I think that, you know,
well, it kind of looks like he did just come in and butt end him with his stick in the video. I don't know. Can you replay it? I wish I had the replay here.
Yeah, I wish you did. But if I remember correctly, like they make contact a couple times before, like they actually just like before he does that. I do think it was on purpose though. So yeah, Domi. I mean, Domi and penalties, man. He's just kind of been, you know, collecting too many of them for my liking. I know, like, he's just a guy that I hope he doesn't get traded out of here, but there's no reason for him not to be, you know, like, just like other than the story and everything, but like,
I
man,
know.
doesn't provide points. He gets like
I
he
know.
takes bad penalties. He fights once in a while,
Time.
but sometimes it's in the wrong spot and he just takes an
He
instigator.
just
Like,
signed that deal though.
I know, man. I want to love him, and I think everyone does, but god damn it, it's hard to love his play, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't see them pulling the trigger on that this year. Maybe next year if it continues, but I think Max Domi's here to stay unless there's a deal you can't refuse. But Brad Treliving, when asked about the trade deadline, said, he likes his team. He's hoping he can improve it by Friday, but all in all, he likes his team. There's not a lot out there that's upgrading, right? So you
Yeah, I
have to
mean, I
look when
think
you
he
go and you
also
get a
has
player
to
and you
see that.
slot them in. Are they better than that guy? So
I mean, almost anyone's better than Domi at the moment. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it, but I like one thing that he is a playoff player. He's always been a guy that shows up when it counts. So I like, I'll rest on that a little bit, but yeah, it's tough. Like maybe once things get juggled around a little bit and he's got someone new to play with. Um, I can't wait until next Monday when we can look at this team in just a totally different lens, and there's got to be someone added. Like Brad's got to say he likes his team, but you got to we know that pieces are coming here. So
I really don't want Braden Shen.
You don't?
No,
Why?
I really don't.
Why?
Because
Just
I
because
just
the
don't.
contract?
I just don't think it's it. It feels like I've listened to maybe too much radio.
Hmm.
No, I'm at a point where I'm like, no, Braden Shen feels very much like Ryan O'Reilly and Nick Foligno, and it's not the missing piece. We tried that. We're just another year older, and we're just gonna get one of the pieces we had from years past to try and be the missing piece for this year. I don't think that's it.
I mean, like, I would have taken Ryan O'Reilly year over year after year, though. Like, I don't think that he was the problem. The Nick Foligno, like, he got hurt. Like, I think that
Sure, but it feels like why spend all your assets to try and go get a like I would have taken Ryan O'Reilly for free too to sign him after you already paid assets for him, but now you're going to go and pay assets again for a guy who proved like a type of guy who proved last time he will not push the needle enough to get you guys over the edge. Right? Like Braden Shen
well,
isn't the scorer that we need. Like everybody keeps thinking like we need a big name. Like Braden Shen's a very solid, defensively responsible, can chip in goals. But like I think somebody pointed out today, he has 28 goals was his career high. He's like a 20 goal scorer. We have 20 goal scorers. We need a 30 goal scorer. Like Brock Nelson, I didn't realize is flirting with 40 often. Maybe that's the guy we should be interested in, right?
circling back to Brock Nelson, are we? Jeepers.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more on Brock Nelson now, but no, I definitely not. Definitely not.
I'm high on both those guys, Brock Nelson or Braden Shen. I think Shen, like, it's more than just the goal scoring, and I think that in times past, like, none of the guys he brought in were the problem. Like, the stars need to be the
No, but
stars.
they
Like,
weren't the solution either.
no, but the stars have to be the solution. Like, we can't have guys that aren't in the lineup every playoff game. We need them to come and show up, and you need the right pieces around them. And I think like we're going out and getting the same thing that we have been, but I think it's the right thing. Even if it's Yanni Gord, I think is in like a step in the right direction. It's not great, but I think it's a decent guy to add. And I think that's like you're not going out and getting, you know, Connor McDavid or, whoever. Like, there's no
Why
star
not?
player. I know, but like, there's no star player coming to fix this. Our stars have to fix this, and you just need to add someone to complement that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Shen
I
might not
just
look
like
good
you
in
need.
year 3 of this because like he comes on a contract that is not just
Yeah,
this year. It's 2 more years after this, and so
it's another
yeah,
big
like
part of the reason.
yeah, I'm not sure how great it looks from there on, but if you're looking at just this year, I think he's a great piece to add. Is Brock Nelson better? Maybe, but like I think he's on the ending contract where you get onto the Ryan O'Reilly train where he just leaves in the summer when you gave up an asset for him. So I don't know, like which would you like? You want a guy who's maybe not as good, but he's going to be around, or do you want a guy who's better but he's probably going to leave in the summer? Probably giving
Better.
up the same asset for both. So I think Brock Nelson's great for this team, but like he doesn't necessarily fit in if
Brock Nelson-esque. I want somebody more who's flashier. It's probably not going to happen. But that,
Jared
and
McCann.
Braden Shen's not going to happen. Like, apparently Doug Armstrong's asking the sun and the moon for his players. So that's not going to happen. So you have nothing to worry about there. Those are all just dreams. But I would not be interested either way. So William Nylander tonight, was it just me or William Nylander couldn't hit the net? Is that just something that I was seeing, or was it like every single shot? He had opportunity after opportunity, and he missed. It wasn't posts. He just missed.
Willie misses a lot. He's a guy who would rather miss the net than hit like mid mass on a goalie. So I thought, I also noticed it. I was like, geez, he just needs to fire it at the net at this point. There was a power play in particular, like in the first period, I think, where they like held the zone for about a minute and a half. I think like 8 shots were taken, but only 1 hit the net. And I was like, boys, like, just get it on net at this point. Like, if you just have to shuffle it across the ground and get it there, like, yeah, I also noticed it. It's pretty tough to watch. I mean, I'm sure also that bugs the coaches too, because like a lot of this system is like trying to get to the dangerous area, and one way to get the puck there is just throw it on net, and so you get a rebound. And there's just not any of that if you're missing the net completely. So yeah, I think that drives the coaches crazy too.
Well, I don't think that reflected in Willie's ice time. It seemed like he played a lot, and he scored. I
mean, I thought he was playing decently though. Like even though he was missing the net, like he had a decent game. The second line actually, I thought like kind of stood out a little bit. Holmberg, like, has he found a home there? Like, I don't know.
I don't know, man. He
looks okay. He looks pretty good there. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I didn't want to say it, but yeah. No, he might look good. He might actually look good in that spot. I could see that. So
I always thought Bobby McMahon would go back there, but at this point, I thought that you would have already switched it up. I mean, just they seem to like it too.
Yeah, well, Holmberg's everybody's favorite player, right?
Apparently, yeah. So, yeah, at least on our
team. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about before we get the fuck out of here, Anthony Stolarz. He looked decent for the first 2, but in the third, what do you think went wrong? Like, do you think he overplayed? Do you think it's just bad luck? Do you think the defense hung him out to dry? What the hell do you think happened there?
I mean, on the first one, like, he gets screened by Myers and whoever the San Jose player is. But like, also he's in a kind of he put himself in that position. So, and then he kind of gets tangled up with them. But then on the second one, that's when it's just like, Gabe, dude, like you forgot how to play goalie. Like I said, like, was it Ryan Reeves that put on the pads? Like, honestly, I have no idea what happened. And it's so uncharacteristic for him. We tend to see just the same guy every night. He's normally amazing, or he's like, his bad games are just like subpar, where he lets in maybe an easy one. But I don't think I've ever seen him look like that in a third period.
Now, do you think that we would have glanced over goals like that had the Maple Leafs actually been able to score more than 2 goals tonight?
I mean, like possibly. I think I would still notice that he made like 2.
Like, if we were up 4-0 and, if 3-0, then it's 3-1, 4-1, 4-2. You think that second goal in a 4-2 game would have bothered you as bad as it does when it ties it up?
Did you see where he was though? Like, I think in any situation,
a little bit, yeah.
Like, it was the same thing. Like when Samsonov was in net, that's the goalie
sitting on his ass at the end of it.
Yeah, like I just the whole sequence. I thought, I don't think it would have mattered what the score was. I would have been like, what's wrong with him? It definitely wouldn't have affected the game as much, But I couldn't believe what I was watching. But like, I guess everyone, he's built up a lot of credit here, so. It means absolutely nothing to me. It's just, I just couldn't believe what I was watching.
Same. All right. So when do the Leafs play next? The Leafs are back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
10 p.m. We will not be here for that.
No.
We are going to see you for the Avs game. So I guess we will see you potentially, depending on how crazy it is, maybe Friday quickly. but probably Saturday night to talk about trade deadline and the Colorado Avalanche game. Probably get a special guest appearance from producer Ted.
Yeah.
For now, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us on Split the Defense Leafs post game, presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding area since 2004. Leave us a comment on your way out of here. Hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube if you haven't already. Until next time, peace.
Later.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_shook.